And then you have stuff like the filler in Dragon Ball Z, where Goku learns how to drive.
No, that episode's like, that's a classic.
Okay, so now
Uh-oh.
that seems foreboding.
So we're in the place where I think the castle originally was.
The Sky Castle.
Yeah. So obviously it didn't take the entire kingdom with it. And all
social
that's left
tension.
is like all that's left is like sentry thingies.
Non-hostile. It looks like.
Oh, no, there are
Presum-
enemies here.
Presumably, some of these sentry drones are hostile. Hello, shop.
I didn't remember one of them being a shop. That's cool.
Those are what the shops and save points in Final Fantasy 13 look like.
They do kinda, yeah. There's a geometric shape with LED lines.
Yeah, they're just like
right, like that design has been used in a lot of things.
they're just like floating spheres. It's the most boring thing ever.
With no explanation on how it's actually moving or floating.
Or how it functions as a shop. It just materializes your items.
Where are these items coming from?
Just bring them out of thin air.
Oh, hey, I think I'm buying things.
You spent like 30,000 gold. That's more than you've spent this entire game so far.
I bought it all on potions. No, I'd be less inclined to buy things if there was a dedicated healer character, but alas.
Hey, you finally bought some revives too. Holy crap. That's amazing.
Impressed?
I mean, that depends on if we're still going to reload the game to bring people back to life rather than use a revive.
No. Definitely at some point in this game I will be utilizing items.
Eventually.
I remember that much. It's either now or later, but I think it would be now.
You're definitely the type of person who never uses an elixir ever, aren't you?
By elixir, you mean a limited item per playthrough?
Well, like, just like the items that you generally can't buy in shops, and
oh yeah, if there's a limited number of a specific item, yeah, I'll never use it.
It kind of defeats the purpose of picking up the item in the first place.
I'm most likely going to use it during the final boss.
Will you, though?
I think there's been a few instances where I have. Also, this place is screwed.
I'm gonna press X to doubt on that one.
Oh, I was thinking of making that an emote and the Discord. Cole Phelps' face.
It would be a fairly decent one.
We have one slot left.
Man, LA Noire. That's an interesting game.
It was a nice experiment.
Did you ever actually play it?
I didn't play it. I watched a playthrough. So I know all the story bits.
I've played through, I want to say like half of it, probably.
It gets a lot more interesting like later on.
I found it was just a little bit too long for me, actually.
Yeah, I heard one of the complaints was like there isn't really much reason for it to be an open world game.
It just dragged on like for forever, like between I guess jobs that you take.
Yeah, when all the murder cases were like pretty similar, it got kind of a bit tiring.
Yeah, between all the cases that you have to solve, and like between the, you know, having to drive around the city in real time, and all the, you know, very standard third person shooter combat,
and basic ass I don't know, punch combat.
I don't even remember that, but
there was hand to hand fightings at some points.
Yeah, it was just like it was a very long game, and the story was interesting, but didn't at the time that I played it, it didn't really keep me interested. Alongside just how much everything dragged on. Which tends to be a problem that I have with kind of like open world games like that in the first place.
Open world is in like you know, like the Rockstar style.
Yeah, there's like Grand Theft Auto.
Are you also including like the Bethesda style as well?
I'm not a big fan of Bethesda games.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed Skyrim while I played it, but I never got anywhere near like finishing it.
That's fine.
I think I probably played Skyrim for like 20-30 hours, and then just I was pretty done with it.
Skyrim's endpoint is a bit like no wait, it's ambiguous where Skyrim's endpoint is. Because like the main quest is absolutely one of the worst quest lines in the game. So to say, well, I didn't finish Skyrim, well, you're not really missing much.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I didn't finish most of the like side plot line things either.
Usually, like a better, I guess, indication of how complete your Skyrim save is by doing the guild quest lines.
Yeah,
because there's a lot more of them.
That's
a lot better.
That's what I mean. It's like
okay.
I finished the College of Winterhold because that was insultingly short. And like I did some of the things involving like the Daedric gods in various cities. I started some of the, like, I probably got like halfway through the Civil War plot line. I never did the Thieves Brotherhood or the
Companions.
No, I did the Companions. The Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood. Because I wasn't like, I didn't think that those really fit for the character that I was playing.
You're one of those players.
Yeah. If you're playing a role playing game, the whole point is to role play.
I mean, yeah, sure. If you say so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Game of the Year 2011, folks. Skyrim.
I thought it was a fine game, but
Game of the Year.
as time passed, I definitely kind of cooled on it.
It's definitely one of those Game of the Year candidates where it's like, man, this did not age that well. Well, one example that I always think of is Grand Theft Auto 4, because that got like tons of awards and lots of Game of the Year ones as well. And Jesus Christ, that thing is that it's shit. Like,
hey, Nico, my cousin.
Especially compared to GTA 5, it's like, why would you ever play 4 over 5, or even 3? Like. Like, GTA 4 is clearly the Elder Scrolls 4 of Grand Theft Auto.
My favorite Grand Theft Auto game is Sleeping Dogs.
My favorite Grand Theft Auto game is Chinatown Wars. No, it's actually Crackdown. I like Crackdown.
I've only played a little bit of Crackdown.
I'm sure a lot of people have only played a little bit of Crackdown because one of the main reasons why people bought it was because it came bundled with the Halo 3 multiplayer beta.
Oh, Halo
nice,
3.
Nice move, Microsoft. People, that's a good incentive to people to buy your new IP.
I mean, I never actually cared that much about the multiplayer in the Halo games, but, you know.
I mostly got into it in Halo Reach. I like Halo 3 is a tiny bit before my time, and then Halo 4 is kind of shit. So it was Reach for me.
I was all about the stories, and then Bungie went off to do Destiny. So, well, I guess I'm not playing any new Halo games anymore.
Never. You're never going to play a Halo game ever.
I mean, if they, like, this is why I keep saying that I want Microsoft to release Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST, and Reach on PC. Because, like, I would buy that in an instant.
I would also buy that despite owning most of those games.
I mean, yeah, I have them on my 360, but I want to play them on PC.
Yeah. They are people are okay. People are excited for whatever the next Halo game is. You know, Halo Infinite.
Infinite.
Like I didn't get that impression at first. But apparently it's actually Halo 6. It's not called Halo 6.
I mean, that doesn't hugely surprise me.
But it's like, I thought, you know, since he has his old armor, I thought it would be like a prequel of sorts, but okay.
No. They wouldn't do that.
Well, they better have a good explanation why the Mr. Chef is wearing his old armor.
I mean, has his armor changed that much throughout the...
Yes. It's changed a lot.
I haven't played Halo 5, but...
It's changed from 1 to 2 and 3 to 4.
I don't recall his armor changing from 3 to 4.
That's actually the most drastic change he's had to his armor. Go look up like comparison images, and you'll see a massive difference. Especially when it's a different developer and they had different art teams. But yeah, it is. Yeah, he's going from like super advanced high tech Halo 3, 4, and 5 armor, and going back to the old fashioned Halo 1 armor. I'm like, what's up with that? Is time shenanigans gonna happen? I sure hope so.
God, that would... No. That's the last thing that 343 needs to try to shove into Halo.
But what it does need is a reboot. Because Halo 5 isn't so good, and it didn't end so good.
Which kind of makes you think that you shouldn't be expecting much out of the next one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I'm like, they showed you like a CGI stuff, and the only information we have is that Mr. Chef is in his old armor. Marines exist, Warthogs exist, Halo rings exist, and that's about it. And it's like, oh, you're excited? Okay, are you just gonna ignore how badly Halo 4 and 5 went?
Which is also why Halo 1 through Reach on PC when?
Never. Although,
come on, Microsoft.
If it will ever happen, it's going to be in Microsoft Store. Like, it's not going to be a Steam release.
I still don't understand why they put Halo Wars 1 on Steam and then locked Halo Wars 2 to the Windows Store. Like, why?
I think it's to help. Well, I think it's because exclusivity, right? Because Halo Wars is on the 360. It's not on the Xbox One. They want more people to buy the Xbox One.
But it doesn't make sense because you can just buy it on PC. Like, if you buy it on the Windows Store, you have it on your PC. Like, it doesn't make sense for them to lock it to their own store.
They take a 30% cut. Like, they don't have to give it to Valve anymore.
Yeah, I don't, and like, you look at any Windows Store exclusive title on like the Windows Store, and all of the reviews are like a mix of 5 stars and like 1 star or 0 star, whatever the lowest star rating is, because nobody likes the Windows Store. Nobody.
Yeah.
Because it's garbage.
I wonder how much has changed over the years.
None. Not at all.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I'm not surprised by that.
Like, the Windows Store, like, the only difference between the Windows Store now and when Windows 10 launched is that it just has more stuff now. Like, cool. That's it. And, like, everything is still super overpriced. Everything is still, like, locked to their shitty DRM system. Everything is...
I made the mistake of getting a Windows Surface. And I had my first experience with the Windows Store and that thing. And oh boy.
I don't even hate Windows 10 itself. Like, it's
well, it had Windows 8.
But yeah, like, Windows 10 has been a fine operating system for me mostly, but like, I'm not going to use the Windows Store, Microsoft, and the vast majority of other people aren't either. So like you released Halo Wars, you released Quantum Break, you released Killer Instinct, all on Steam. Why not? I don't think that was ever locked to the Windows Store in the first place. But yes, that was
Microsoft published.
It was published by Microsoft, but like that's what I mean. It's like Killer Instinct and Quantum Break were both specifically exclusive to the Windows Store for a long time. And now they're available on Steam. So why not give other PC users, Gears of War, I mean, not that Gears of War 4 is really worth anything, but, Halo Wars 2, like...
maybe people are still buying it.
No. That's wishful thinking.
That's the same thing happening with what is their browser called now? I know they've
Edge.
had like Edge. I thought it was called Spartan.
No.
Is that what? Okay, it has a few renames, but yeah, it's like, hey, Microsoft is like, hey, give Microsoft Edge a shot. I'm like,
yeah, no.
Nah, I'm already committed.
I mean, it's not the worst browser, but
Why not give Microsoft Edge a shot? How about we just automatically install it onto your desktop?
Well, yeah,
and then you can try it.
If you're using a Windows computer, then yeah.
Nah, I'm sticking to Windows 7. At least on my desktop.
Good luck with that in a couple more years.
Oh well, apparently, I believe them in that they're gonna keep supporting it until 2020. So yeah, I have a couple more years until I'm essentially forced to move on. And when they were rolling out the free upgrades to Windows 10, I think I made the right decision with not doing that.
Like I said, Windows 10 has been mostly like it hasn't given me any more issues than Windows 7 ever did, really. Cuz like my Windows 7 laptop just literally wouldn't let me do Windows Update for the longest time. Like by its factory default setting, Windows Update just didn't work. Which was really good. That was A plus.
Great product.
Yeah.
5-star Amazon.
So like in comparison to that, at least Windows 10 works. It's it had some growing pains when I initially got it because Microsoft is complete garbage and I had to turn off a bunch of stuff. But after that, it's worked just as fine as Windows 7 ever did.
Could you take over for like 2 minutes?
Not in any interesting way, but I guess. This is what happens. See, this is why Spencer, when I joke about leaving him alone, always gets really quiet and kind of awkward. Because, like, it's really... Especially if it's a game that you haven't played yourself. You're not, like, actively recording it. It's kind of weird to try and do live commentary over it when the most interesting thing that's happening on screen is JRPG combat. No offense to JRPG combat. I do actually genuinely enjoy it, but it's kind of undeniable that it makes for not the most interesting. I guess we can't go that way. Not the most interesting visual gameplay experience. Which is one criticism that I'll grant to people who complain about turn-based combat. But I find that it's different when I'm playing it myself. Because, like, I don't know if people found, like, the Shadowrun games when I played them, for instance, to be, boring to watch or anything. Or I guess even... would I count Undertale? Maybe. Oh. Huh. Interesting. I wonder what is causing that. I guess it's those pillars. Yeah, I don't know if people found the Shadowrun games uninteresting to watch, but I was engaged every minute while I was recording them, and it'd be the same if I were the one recording this, or if I record Final Fantasy VII, etc. I'm not going to be bored playing the combat, but it's undeniable that in a game as long as that, you probably want to cut most of the combat out, because it's just not going to be that interesting for people to watch. Yeah, I would say that's kind of the major downfall of turn-based combat is just that it's very easy fodder for that segment of a video you want to speed up or cut out when it comes to a Let's Play. Because it's super hard to make it interesting. Like, you're going through the same motions that people have already seen 100 times already, and they know how it works. Yeah, like, there's an argument, I guess, that the combat in most games is kind of like that. Like, I don't know. Would people make the same argument about Dark Souls? Like, if you've already seen, the I don't know, what would be a good example? If you've already seen the welcome back. I've been waffling about how the varying levels of how interesting combat systems are to watch in LPs.
Damn. I wish I could have been there.
Yeah. And I was just musing about whether people would find the combat in Dark Souls to be boring at any point. And I was trying.
Depends how it's being played.
I was trying to think of like an example of kind of like an average enemy fight or like sequence of the game that people might find boring to watch.
If it's like going against the same enemy over and over again.
Yeah.
Cause with the way Dark Souls AI works, it's like, if it's the same enemy, then they're going to have the same AI, and they're going to have the same solution to getting past them. So, if a viewer were watching someone do that, then it's going to be a bit boring seeing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was like, what I was musing about is like the turn-based combat in games like this. It tends to be a very easy kind of target for, when you're recording the game. It's like, oh, I should speed this up or cut it out because people have already seen it many, many times. Because it doesn't, because especially when, there's one person commentating, it doesn't give a lot of interesting footage to commentate over.
Well, we've at least talked about some other things happening that we're fond with.
What's with the drones thinking that the throne is still down here? Or can you not explain that?
No one turned their switches off.
Well, all right then.
So they're just wandering around, patrolling whatever they were programmed to do.
Well,
we also fell. Game over. Hour's dead.
Oh. Good game, everyone.